Hello everyone. Today we shall look into the variables and how they function. In Power Apps, variables are used to store and manage data which can be used throughout the app. They allow us to store information temporarily and also to perform calculations and control the behavior of the app. Here, Power App application supports several data types for variables like text, number, boolean, date and type and table. Okay, here we have three different types of variables. First one is called global variables, second one is called context variables, and third one is called collections. And this global variables, it is applicable throughout the app. Okay, and context variables, it is applicable only within a particular screen, and collections, again, it is applicable throughout the app. Within the description, as we could see that global variables holds different types of data types referenced anywhere in the application, whereas context variables is applicable only to a particular screen which can be referenced in only one screen. And they can be used much like parameters to a procedure in other languages. And collections, they can be referenced anywhere from the app, which allows the contents of the table to be modified rather than being set as a whole. Okay, the functions which we use for global variables is a set function. For the context variables, we use update context and navigate functions, and for collections we use collect and clear collect functions. Let us understand how they work in the Power Apps. Here we have taken an empty screen. You can select this new screen on the left and select the blank screen. Okay, here let us take a button. I'll click on insert. I'll just take a button. So this is my button. I'll name it as set name. Okay, and here on the top, if you see that for onSelect function, it is false. What I'll write is for a let us talk about the global variables. I'll write set function. Okay, I'll use set, open the parenthesis. You could see first parameter is variable, so I'll write variable called my name. Okay, this is a variable. I'll put a comma. In the value, I could enter my name as Pawan. Okay, here I'll close the parenthesis, and if we could run it, here we don't, if we run it, we can't see anything because it is just a button. What we shall do is, in order to make it appear, what we could do is we can click on insert, open a text label. Okay, here we have a text label where we could write few things here. Like we have created a variable called my name. Okay, here it is my name. It is Pawan is the default value which is set to it. Right here in the text, I'll remove this hard-coded text. What I could write is my name. If I type my name here, you could see since I ran it here, Pawan is appearing. I could use this as variable. Okay, I could even concatenate other things. I could write ampersand and Pawan is making a video on variables. Right, so this is the text. You could see that I could write the text and make it appear. If I click on it, here you could see that this is a variable. As soon as I select it, I'm able to see the data in my text label. And this text label we would be able to see even in the other screen. For example, I'll create a new screen. I'll click on new screen and click on blank. So this is my second screen. I can click on insert. I can click on text label. Okay, and here in the text label, I can write my name here. You could see that my name is updated. Okay, and you could use it similarly. If I could go to the screen one, and let us include another button and understand about context variable. I'll scroll, I'll take it to the bottom. Here I'll write as okay, and on the select, like on selecting it, what I need is update context. Okay, open the parenthesis. Here we have to provide the context. We always provide the context within curly braces, and then we could proceed ahead using it. Here I'll use the variable name as current month. Okay, I'll put colon, and current month it is November. Okay, I'll close the quotations, close the curly braces, and close the parenthesis. So I have, on selecting it, I'm creating a current month which is called November. Suppose if I want to view it, how it works, what I could do is I can click on this insert, bring a text label, and if I could bring it here. Here within this update in this text, when we created the update context, we can use that variable which is current month. If you type current month, here you could select it current month. Okay, and I could run it. I could select this, and you'll see that current month is appearing. Okay, and let us check if we could see the same value in the screen 2 or not. I'll go to screen 2, click on text label. Okay, this is our new text label. Let us remove this text. Let us give the variable which is current month. You could see that it is showing the red line because it is not recognized in the screen 2. So what we could remember is global variables can be used in throughout the app in any screen, whereas the context variable, it is applicable only to the screen which is referenced. Okay, here update context belongs to the context variables, and set function, it belongs to the global variables. Along with the update context, we have something called navigate function which supports the context variables. What we could do is, I'll take another button and show you how it works. Here I'll bring it here. I'll write navigate to screen 2. So we are just creating a navigation button where we could navigate to the second screen, and using the ID we can create an ID. Okay, here on select, what I'll do is I'll write navigate. Navigate function helps us to navigate. First parameter is target. The target screen is screen 2. I'll put a comma, and in the second parameter you could mention the transition, how the screen has to transition. I could choose anything like cover, screen transition dot cover, or screen transition dot fade, in anything that you like. I can put a comma. Here in the third parameter you could see the context. Now this context could be anything which, as I have said, you could create within curly braces. For example, I'm going to create an ID, okay, which is 1001. Okay, this is an ID which could be created, or you could say updated, within the next screen when it navigates. I'll close the parenthesis, and we can run it. Once we run it, we can select this, and we have navigated to the second screen. In order to see the ID, what we could do is, I'll select the second screen. Okay, and here we have this variable. I'll remove this variable. I'll keep the variable which is ID. Okay, you could see that ID variable has 1001. I can select the ID. You could see that as soon as I navigated it has shown the value of 1001. So I believe you have understood this global variable and context variables. Let us understand collections in a new screen. I'll select new screen and select the blank screen. Okay, collections are the tabular kind of data where you could collect the data and link it with your source. For now I'll show you how to create the collections. Here I have something called insert, and I'll click on this button. Okay, now for example, on selecting this button I have to import some data for temporary basis. Like I have to create a small table where I could take the data on temporary requirement. Here what I will do is I'll use this clear collect function. Okay, this clear collect function, it helps us to create a collection and also with the items included in it. What I'll do is the collection name, here I'll write uh, collection names. Okay, this is a collection name which I have created, and I would provide some random names. I'll write Pavan. Okay, I'll write and similarly we could create some random names. Okay, and here we could close the parenthesis, and this is how we write the clear collect function. Okay, and here you could see the error because the items, here you could see error because of the call names is the collection name, so we did not require these quotations to be mentioned. So once you remove it, you could see that call names, which is the name of the collection, is in green color and others are in red color because they are strings. Okay, now we have created our clear collect function, and let us run it and see the output. In order to see the output, I'll include a vertical gallery. I'll select this vertical gallery here. Okay, and here this is our vertical gallery. I'll bring it to the bottom. So here on the right side, if you like to change the layout, you can select this option of layout, change it to titles. Okay, and what you could do is on the top you could see for the items, here we have something called custom gallery sample, which is the sample data which is by defaultly provided the Power Apps. Okay, and now we have created the call names collection. We can use that call names option over here, and as soon as I run this application, if I select this button, you could see that the names are appearing. So in this way we could create a list of names which could be used temporarily, and we could represent it in gallery in order to understand. And similarly we could write this clear collect in a different way. For example, I'll create another button. Here I'll unselect, let us write the other way how to use it. I'll write clear, I'll write call names 1. Okay, close the parenthesis. I'll put a semicolon, and here I'll write collect. Okay, I'll write call names 1, and I'll put a comma, and we could write other names in strings. Okay, here instead of writing other names in strings, what if I want to showcase two values, for example in 2 columns. Okay, data in 2 columns. What I could do is I can write this, I can open this curly braces. Okay, and I'll write ID as 101, comma, I'll write name okay, and I'll close the curly braces. Similarly you could create multiple values. I'll put a comma, and I could create even another ID and their name. Okay, and you could close the parenthesis, and this is how we could write the clear and collect separately. What it does is it clears the data initially and then it collects it. Okay, and let us create a vertical gallery and see how it works. So we could bring the gallery to the right side. Okay, and instead of items, what we can write is, it is call names 1. Okay, and you could see that call names 1, we have implemented the data here. Let us run this application. Let us click on the button. Here you could see that our data is appearing, but it is appearing twice. We can change the layout and make it correct. I'll go to layout. I can just click on title and subtitle. Okay, and here if you notice, we have this item.name. Okay, instead of name, what I want is ID. Okay, I'll go to the above one. Instead of name, I can remove this and I can select this item.id. So once you do it, you could see that the IDs and names are updated. And if you would like to view the data in tabular form, what you could do is open the drop down. You could select this call names and double click on that. You could open this drop down. Okay, you could see the data in this tabular format over here, right? So that you could understand what is the collection which is being formed. And similarly, suppose that you want to clear this data which you have created, what you could do is you could insert some icon. For example, I have this trash icon which is present. I'll select the trash icon. Okay, here is my trash icon. Suppose on selecting this trash icon, I want to remove all the data which is present. I'll select this trash icon. On select, what I can do is I'll write clear, and our collection name is called call names 1. Close the parenthesis and let us run and see how it appears. I'll select this trash icon. You could see that the data has disappeared. So I hope you have understood collections and how it works. Again, if you can press Alt button and click on this button where I have assigned the call names 1 collection, again you'll be able to see the data. I hope you have understood global variables, context variables, and collections. Here on the left, you could see this symbol where you can see all the variables which are being created. You can select that. Okay, and you'll see this pane where you can see what are the global variables created. Here I have my name global variable. You can see what are the context variables. I have the context variables within 2 screens, and here in the collections you could see that I have created 2 collections with 3 rows in one collection and 2 rows in other collection. We'll discuss about this component variables while we talk in regarding components. This is all for today. Thank you for watching, and we shall meet in the next video.